mentioned the P.I.L.L BRRRR method. So it kind of piqued my interest
Yes.
because I'm more so in the flip space right now, but there's one property that I acquired that I decided, because the numbers look really good,
Mhm.
I decided to buy and hold it and use it as a STR.
For the people in the back, would you tell them what STR means?
Oh, I'm sorry, short-term rental.
Short-term
So,
rental, meaning like
a vacation home. We don't like to use the A word.
right, I understand. Okay. So short-term rental,
So,
folks. So you can go in and rent that for a short term, pay, and then get out and visit another one. Okay, short-term rentals. Go ahead.
yes, so vacation homes.
Yes.
So when I heard you mention that particular method, it kind of piqued my interest.
Mhm.
And if you can kind of delve into how that differs. Well, I know what BRRRR is, of course, but
Right.
the method in which it would differ than if it was my owner occupied, my home.
Right. Cari, before we get into this example, here's what I want to tell you, folks. Once you get to a certain credit score, it doesn't matter. Okay. Credit score after a certain point does not matter. What you want is a great credit profile so that you can always get approved. That's what you want. You want to be approval ready, and credit score by itself does not do that. Plus, once credit score gets to a certain point, you don't need a higher credit score. Okay, so remember that credit score by itself is not important. It is your credit profile. All right, interest rates. So again, everybody's trying to get the lowest interest rate. All right, and write this down. The lower the interest rate, the harder it is to pay the loan off early. Here's another one for you. Never buy down the interest rate. Sometimes you'll get an opportunity to give up a little more cash up front so that you can actually buy a lower interest rate. Don't do it. Never do it. There is no reason to do it. Okay. Never put a large down payment on a loan or a car, ever. Never put a large down payment on a mortgage or a car loan or any type of loan whatsoever. Down payments do not help you. We're going to show you how you can better use that money to save you time and save you interest. So, Cari, you talked about the ICE BRRRR method, okay? Interest Cancellation Expert method combined with the BRRRR method, which is buy, rehab, rent, refi, and then repeat. Okay. So here's what we're talking about. So we want to put into a position where you are buying and holding, and then get to a point where you can take the cash out of that property and then buy additional properties. Is that what we're talking about today?
Correct.
All right. So the ICE BRRRR method actually speeds up that process. Okay, so I have a $350,000 loan on here. And if I was going to take out a certain amount of money, if I wanted to cash out on this thing, tell me, what would be a good amount of money to cash out with that would make it worth refining the property to take cash out and to purchase additional properties? Give me an idea. How much money?
Well, it would be the 70% loan to value.
I know, but you want to know 70% of what? 20,000? 70% of what amount?
70% of what the ARV is.
Okay, what?
The
So
after repair value.
right. So are you talking about after you have the 30-year mortgage or before?
I guess that's one of my questions when it comes to the ICE BRRRR method,
Okay,
right?
the ICE BRRRR method is after you have received the 30-year
Correct.
mortgage. So if you're
Yes.
buying a property, let's say you're using hard money or
Hard money.
your own cash to get the process started, then you cash out to get your money out of it and then get a long-term loan,
Correct.
like a 30-year loan. We're talking about after you get the loan.
Yes.
Okay. So after you
Okay.
get your 30-year mortgage now, so you want to repeat that process. We're into the BRRRR method now. We've already rehabbed. Okay. Now we're renting. Okay. Now at a certain point, we want to refi, get additional cash out to buy more properties.
Correct.
How much would be worth it to you is what I'm asking. How much do we want to take out?
Oh, understood. Let's say 100.
All right, so here's where we're talking about $100,000. All right, so I've got a $350,000 mortgage on here. And if we go down to where it says where I would naturally get $100,000 in equity. Pay down the loan by $100,000. Okay. We're not talking about adding in market conditions. We're just talking about paying off the loan. Okay. So if we do that, we're scrolling down here. We're at 120 months already. Okay. 120 months. That's 10 years. We're only at $79,000 that we paid the loan down by. Okay. So if we're just using paying off the loan and not using market conditions, then we only have $79,000 in equity. Do you follow me?
Yes.
Okay. So now to get 100,000, so this is 11 years. Here's 12 years, just over 12 years, we can get to $100,000. Okay. Now, this is when somebody would want to refi and to get about $80,000 out on your refi and then use that money to purchase other properties. So are we talking your language?
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. But I also want you to see this. Do you see the right of the 100,000? How much interest do you have to pay to get that?
129,384.
Here's my question. Do you think that's a little bit too much money to pay to get $100,000 in equity?
Absolutely.
And if we look at the interest cost, this is what we term the interest cost. If we look at the interest cost, do we actually have equity when you look at the cost of managing the property with the benefit you get out of the property? Do we actually have equity here?
No.
No, we don't. And every real estate investor I've ever talked to has ignored interest cost. And I dare say up to now, so have you. So here's my question. Do we want to continue to ignore interest cost?
No.
Okay, well, so if we can do something about that, do you think we should?
Absolutely.
So here's what we're talking about. So I know of a real estate investor who keeps some cash on the side, okay? You know, just to do repairs.
Oh, that's what I was doing.
All right, so now let's see. Here's what we want to do. We still want to get $100,000 in equity, right?
Yes.
What if we can get that for a lot less money in interest? Would that be better?
Yes.
Okay, so now here is the caveat. Okay, Don, I don't want to use any monies that are coming in from rent that I have earmarked for investing. How does that sound?
That sounds pretty good.
Because here's what I've been told. This is, Don, why would I take the money that I should use to invest? Why should I use that money to pay down this loan? And my answer is you shouldn't. All right. But every real estate investor I know that's worth their salt keeps some money on the side, you know, in a reserve account, correct?
Correct.
So give me an idea of how much money a real estate investor could have in reserve just to make repairs, just in case something happens. Give me a certain amount of money.
25,000.
I got $25,000 sitting in reserve. And where is that $25,000?
In the bank.
In the bank. And in what kind of account is that $25,000 sitting in?
Probably a business checking.
Business checking. And how much interest do business checking accounts make?
Not enough.
Okay, that's a t-shirt. Write that down, somebody.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
And your money in the bank does not make enough. How much does it make? Not enough. All right. I love that. Okay, can I use it?
You sure can. Sharing is caring.
Thank you, Cari.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.